Hello students, today we are going to discuss the phylum number 2 of non-chordates, that is Coelenterata. Coelenterata. So we will first discuss general characters. General characters of Coelenterata. General characters. So very important phylum of animal kingdom, phylum number 2, that is Coelenterata. First, we will discuss general characters. What are they? The first one is they are diploblastic. Diploblastic. Coelenterata or diploblastic. That is, they are having two germ layers, ectoderm and mesoderm. So they are diploblastic, they are having two germ layers. What are those two germ layers? They are ectoderm and endoderm. Ectoderm and endoderm. So the first general character of phylum Coelenterata is they are diploblastic. Diploblastic. Number 2, they are having radial symmetry. They are radially symmetrical. Radial symmetry. What is radial symmetry? When we cut an organism into two equal halves by more than one plane. For example, if we want to cut ourselves, how can we cut? We can cut only by one plane. That symmetry is called as bilateral symmetry. But here, the symmetry is radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means where the organism is cut into two equal halves by more than one plane. So we are discussing phylum Coelenterata. We are giving the general characters. The first general character is that they are diploblastic, that is, they are having two germ layers. Point number 2 is that they are having radial symmetry. That is, when an organism is cut into two equal halves by more than one plane. Point number 3 is they are having blind sac plan. Blind sac plan. Blind sac plan. What is blind sac plan? In blind sac plan, the diagram is like this. There is only one opening, and that opening acts as both mouth and anus. Blind means on one side it's closed. It's closed. And on the other side, there is only one opening. That opening acts as both mouth and anus. And that opening is called as hypostome. Hypostome. So what is blind sac plan? Blind sac plan is that plan in which there is only one opening. And this opening acts as both mouth as well as anus. And this opening is called as hypostome. It acts as both. It acts as both mouth as well as anus. So this is point number 3. So they are diploblastic, they are having radial symmetry, and their body plan is blind sac plan. They have tissue level of organization. Tissue level of organization. Tissue level of organization. We can say this is the advancement over porifera. In porifera, we have seen cellular level of organization, but here it is a tissue level of organization. So we are seeing some kind of advancement. This is advancement over porifera. So the body organization is tissue level of organization. some tissues are formed in coelenterata. Point number 5, they are acoelomates. Acoelomates. Since mesoderm is absent here, they are diploblastic. They are having two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm, and we know that the coelom is originated from mesoderm. Since mesoderm is absent here, so they are acoelomates. So we are discussing the general characters of coelenterata. The first one is that they are diploblastic. The second one is that they are having radial symmetry. The third one is that they are having blind sac plan. The fourth one is that they are having tissue level of organization. And the fifth one is that they are having, they are acoelomates. Dear students, these were the general characters of coelenterata. Now we will discuss specialized characters. Specialized characters. Specialized characters. In the specialized characters, first we will discuss the body wall. First is body wall. Body wall. Body of the coelenterata is made up of two layers. There are two layers. Outer layer is called as epidermis. Outer layer is called as epidermis. Epidermis. Outer layer is called as epidermis, body wall. We are discussing specialized characters. And the first one is body wall. The body of the coelenterata is made up of two layers. The outer layer is called as epidermis and inner layer is called as gastrodermis. Gastrodermis. This is gastrodermis. 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 So there are two layers in coelenterata. The outer layer is called as epidermis and inner layer is called as gastrodermis. So this is inner layer. This is outer layer. In between these two layers, there is a gel-like substance. That gel-like substance is called as mesoglia. So between the epidermis and gastrodermis, there is a non-cellular layer, and this non-cellular layer is made up of a gel-like substance. That gel-like substance is called as mesoglia. So this is a gelatinous layer. Gelatinous. Non-cellular. So we are discussing the body wall of coelenterata. Body wall is made up of two layers. Outer layer is called as epidermis and inner layer is called as gastrodermis. In between these two layers, there is a gelatinous non-cellular layer that's called as mesoglia. There are so many cells present on the epidermis and gastrodermis, but I need to mention one here, and that's very, very important. That's called as cnidoblast. On epidermis, that's outer layer, is a cell. That cell is called as cnidoblast. Cnidoblast. So there are so many cells present on the epidermis which are very, very important. But I need to mention the most important cell on epidermis, that is cnidoblast. Cnidoblast is also called as nematoblast. Nematoblast. If we will see the phylum Coelenterata, they are also called as cnidarians. Why are they called as cnidarians? Because of this, cnidoblast. So, Coelenterata are also called as cnidarians. I will write it here. They are also called as cnidarians. Why are they called as cnidarians? Because of a cell, that cell is called as cnidoblast or nematoblast. Because of the presence of cnidoblast or nematoblast in epidermis, Coelenterata are also called as cnidarians. This cnidoblast is stinging apparatus. Stinging apparatus. Stinging apparatus. What is cnidoblast? It is a stinging apparatus of Coelenterata. This stinging apparatus has a stinging organ. Stinging organ. And that stinging organ is called as nematocyst. Nematocyst. So on epidermis, there is present a stinging cell. That cell is called as cnidoblast or nematoblast. This cnidoblast has a stinging organ that's called as nematocyst. Dear students, we are discussing the specialized characters of Coelenterata. The first one is body wall. Body is made up of two layers of cells. Layer is called as epidermis and inner layer is called as gastrodermis. In between these two layers, there is a gelatinous non-cellular layer called as mesoglia. There are so many cells present on epidermis as well as gastrodermis. But we need to mention the most important cell, that's called as cnidoblast. Cnidoblast is also called as nematoblast. It is a stinging apparatus of the cnidaria. Coelenterata are also called as cnidarians because of this stinging apparatus that's called as cnidoblast. Cnidoblast has a stinging organ called as nematocyst, and this nematocyst is used for defense as well as offense. Nematocyst, what's the function of nematocyst? Nematocyst is used for defense as well as offense, means to catch the prey. So the function of nematocyst, that is stinging organ, is defense as well as offense. That is, it is used to defend itself and it's also used to catch the prey. Now we will discuss the most important feature of Coelenterata, that's polymorphism. Polymorphism. The most important feature of Coelenterata is polymorphism. Polymorphism. The most important feature of Coelenterata or cnidarians is polymorphism. What is polymorphism? When a species or when a group exists in more than one form. When a group or organisms exist in more than one form, and these forms are called here zooids. They are called as zooids. So the most important feature of Coelenterata is polymorphism. That is, they exist in more than one form, and these forms are called as zooids. And we need to mention here the two important forms are polyp and medusa. Medusae. So the most important feature of Coelenterata is polymorphism. That's, they exist in more than one form, and these forms are called as zooids. And what are the two important forms of Coelenterata? They are polyp and medusa. Polyp. Polyp is sessile, means fixed. They do not move. They are cylindrical. What are the characters of polyp? Polyp is sessile, polyp is fixed. Polyp is cylindrical in shape, and its mouth and tentacles are facing upwards. They are facing upwards. Diagram is like this. For example, this is mouth. These are tentacles. So polyp, how do polyp look like? Polyp is sessile, it's fixed. It is cylindrical, and mouth and tentacles are facing upward. What is medusa? It's free swimming. It swims freely. It's free swimming. It's not fixed. It's umbrella shaped. What's the shape of medusa? It's umbrella shaped. Umbrella shaped. Its mouth and tentacles are facing downward. Mouth and tentacles are facing downward. Downwards. So we are discussing the difference between polyp and medusa. Polyp is sessile, fixed. Polyp is cylindrical in shape. The mouth and tentacles are facing upwards. Medusa is free swimming. It's umbrella shaped. The mouth and tentacles are facing downwards. So we can draw the diagram also. Diagram is like this, umbrella shaped. Mouth and tentacles are facing downwards. So the two important forms of Coelenterata are polyp and medusa. Polyp is sessile, it's fixed, it's cylindrical. The mouth and tentacles are facing upwards. Medusa is free swimming, it's umbrella shaped. The mouth and tentacles are facing downwards. Dear students, we are discussing the most important feature of Coelenterata, that's polymorphism. They exist in more than one form, and these forms are called as zooids. The two important forms are polyp and medusa. What is a polyp? Polyp is cylindrical in shape. It's an organism which is cylindrical in shape. Its mouth and tentacles are facing upwards. It is sessile, it's fixed. And what is medusa? It's free swimming. The mouth and tentacles are facing downwards, and it is umbrella shaped. There are some more points, we'll discuss them. Polyp reproduces asexually. Asexually. How does polyp reproduce? Polyp reproduces asexually, and medusa reproduces sexually. So polyp reproduces asexually and medusa reproduces sexually. So there are a lot of differences between the polyp and medusa. We are discussing the two important forms of Coelenterata, that's polyp and medusa. So polyp is like this. The mouth, and for example these are mouth and tentacles, they are facing upwards. And in medusae the mouth and tentacles are facing downwards. This is cylindrical, this is umbrella shaped. If we will do one thing, the upside down polyp, I will put the mouth and tentacles downwards like this. The upside down polyp is called as medusa. Sometimes it's asked in board exams and competitive exams, what's upside down polyp called as? The upside down polyp is called as medusa. For example, polyp was like this. The mouth and tentacles were facing upwards. Now what did we do? We do it like this. The mouth and tentacles are facing downward. So what is upside down polyp called as? The upside down polyp is called as medusa. The upside down polyp is called as medusa. The upside down polyp is called as medusa. We need to give a very important example here, obelia. Obelia. Obelia is called as Cepher. Cepher. Obelia is an exception. It is trimorphic. Either we have seen the coelentrates, they are either polyp or medusa. But obelia is taken as a specialized case. Obelia is trimorphic. There are three individuals in obelia, three stages of life. We'll discuss them. First is polyp, medusa, and third is blastostyle. So there are three zooids, three individuals, polyp, medusa and blastostyle. So obelia is trimorphic. It's a colonial cnidarian. There are three individuals, three stages of life. One is obelia, polyp, medusa and blastostyle. What is the function of polyp? Here it is nutritive in function. Nutritive in function. What is the function of polyp in this colony? It is nutritive in function. Medusa contains gonads. What does medusa do? It contains gonads for sexual reproduction. Gonads for sexual reproduction. The three zooids of obelia are polyp. Polyp is nutritive in function. Medusa contains gonads for sexual reproduction. And the third one, blastostyle, it forms reproductive individuals. What does it do? It forms reproductive individuals like medusae. What does it do? It forms reproductive individuals like medusae. So these zooids have different function in this colony. For example, the polyp is nutritive in function. Medusa contains gonads for sexual reproduction. Blastostyle, they form reproductive individuals like medusae. So obelia is trimorphic. We need to mention one very important point here. We are discussing obelia. Obelia is trimorphic. Obelia is also called a Cepher. The three types of zooids are polyp. Polyp is nutritive in function. Medusa contain gonads for sexual reproduction. And blastostyle, they form reproductive individuals like medusa. Medusa in the obelia, there is a term used that's called as metagenesis. Metagenesis. What is metagenesis? Metagenesis. Metagenesis means polyp reproduces asexually. Polyp reproduces asexually to form medusa, and medusa reproduces sexually to form polyp. So polyp give rise to medusa, and medusa again give rise to polyp. This is metagenesis. Metagenesis. What is metagenesis? Polyp reproduces asexually to form medusa, and medusa reproduces sexually to form polyp. There is a term that's called as alternation of generation that's used in plants. Alternation of generation. What is alternation of generation? In plants we say gametophyte give rise to sporophyte and sporophyte give rise back to gametophyte. Is metagenesis and alternation of generation same? No. We did not mix alternation of generation with the metagenesis because here medusa is diploid, polyp is also diploid, but in alternation of generation gametophyte is always haploid and sporophyte is diploid. So this is alternation of generation. Haploid give rise to diploid and diploid again give rise to what? Haploid. But here polyp and medusa both are diploid. So polyp reproduces asexually to form medusa and medusa reproduces sexually to form what? Polyp. So we need not to confuse it with alternation of generation because in alternation of generation gametophyte give rise to sporophyte and sporophyte give rise back to what? Gametophyte. But here one is haploid and second is diploid. So dear students, we are discussing the most important feature of Coelenterata, that is polymorphism. They exist in two forms, that is polyp and medusa. But Obelia acifera is trimorphic. There are three zooids or three forms. Number one is polyp, medusa and blastostyle. And we discuss one more thing here, metagenesis. What is metagenesis? Metagenesis is polyp reproduces asexually to form medusa and medusa reproduces sexually to form what? Polyp. But in plants we see the word alternation of generation. That means gametophyte give rise to sporophyte and sporophyte give rise back to what? Gametophyte. So shall we compare, are they same, metagenesis and alternation of generation? No. In alternation of generation, one is haploid, that's gametophyte, and sporophyte is diploid. But in metagenesis, both polyp and medusa, they are both diploids. So we need not to confuse or we need not to mix metagenesis with the alternation of generation. So these were some important features of Coelenterata. Now we will discuss some other features. Other features. In this, the first one is digestion is both intracellular and extracellular. Digestion is both intracellular and extracellular. So these are other features. Digestion is both intracellular as well as extracellular. Point number 2, development is indirect. Development of Coelenterata is indirect. Means there is a larval stage. A larva is formed. What is the larva called as? Larva is called as planula larva. Planula. In some coelentrates, development is also direct. So development is both indirect as well as direct. So a larva is found here. What is that larva called as? The larva is called as planula. Planula larva. So we are discussing the other features. The other features is, the first one is digestion is both intracellular as well as extracellular. Development is both direct and indirect, mostly indirect. A larvae is found between the embryo and adult. Larvae is intermediate stage, and what is the larvae called here? The larvae is called as planula, planula larva. Primitive nervous system is found here. Primitive nervous system. Nerve cells and their processes like structures are here. Not the advanced nervous system and their processes. A primitive type of nervous system is found here. In Porifera, we haven't seen such type of development, so this is a type of advancement over Porifera. Primitive nervous system means nerve cells and their processes. A sense organ type is found here, that's called as statocyst. Statocyst. And it is used for balance. A type of sense organ is found here, that's called as statocyst, and it is used for balance. So the nervous system is primitive type, not so advanced like mammals and humans. Though what does it consist of? It consists of the nerve cells and their processes. There is a sense organ type found here, and that's called as statocyst. Statocyst is used for balance. Reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual. Reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual. So we are discussing other factors. Point number 5 is reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual. Power of regeneration can be found here. Power of regeneration is found here. Power of regeneration is found in Coelenterata. Power of regeneration is found in Coelenterata. Power of regeneration. Students, we are discussing the other features, and in this we need to mention that reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual, and power of regeneration is found in Coelenterata. So we are discussing the other features. In other features, the digestion is both intracellular as well as extracellular. Development is indirect. Reproduction is both sexual as well as asexual. Power of regeneration can be found in Coelenterata. So the last and the most important I need to mention here is the examples with their common names. So the most important part now is biological names and common names. Biological names and their common names. Common names. Biological names and their common names. For example, the first one is Physalia. Physalia. Physalia is called as Portuguese man of war. Portuguese man of war. This Physalia was used by Portugals in a war because they contain iodoblast, that's a stinging cell, and that can kill the enemies. So this Physalia was used in some wars, that's why it's called as Portuguese man of war. Second is Arulia. Arulia is commonly called as jellyfish. Jellyfish. We must remember one thing also, that common names are wrong. Some common names are wrong. We see jellyfish. Is it a fish? No, it's a coelenterate. So some common names are wrong. Jellyfish is not a fish, it's a coelenterate. Third, Adamsia. Adamsia is called as sea anemone. Sea anemone. Fourth, Gorgonia. Gorgonia is called as sea fan. Fifth is Meandrina. Meandrina is called as brain coral. Brain coral. And the last one is Pinnatula. Pinnatula is called as sea fan. Sea pen. So these are some examples of biological names of coelentrates with their common names. What is the first one? Physalia is called as Portuguese man of war. Arulia is called as jellyfish. Adamsia is called as sea anemone. Gorgonia is called as sea fan. Meandrina is called as brain coral. And Pinnatula is called as sea pen. So dear students, we are discussing some examples of Coelenterata along with their common names. The first one is Physalia. Physalia is called as Portuguese man of war. Arulia is called as jellyfish. Adamsia is called as sea anemone. Gorgonia is called as sea fan. Meandrina is called as brain coil. And Pinnatula is called as sea pen. So we are discussing the phylum Coelenterata. We have given the general characters. We have given the specialized characters. We have given the important characters. We have given some other characters. We have given the biological names and their common names. And the last point I need to discuss it here is, as I said, that there are two types of individuals found in Coelenterata. The first one is polyp and second one is called as medusa. The Coelenterata are either represented by polyps or they are either represented by medusae. As I said that the polyp is cylindrical, sessile, the mouth and tentacles are facing upwards. This is umbrella shaped, free swimming, the mouth and tentacles are facing downwards. So I will give some examples here. We can remember it like this, GAP, gap, and we can write like here MAR, MAR. What is gap? P stands for polyp. These two are the examples. A stands for Adamsia and G stands for Gorgonia. So how can you remember the examples of a polyp? There is a formula. The formula is gap, GAP, gap. What does P stand for? P stands for polyp. And A stands for Adamsia and G stands for Gorgonia. What are the examples of medusae? M stands for medusae. M stands for medusae. And what are the two examples? A stands for Arulia, jellyfish, and R stands for rhizostoma. Rhizostoma. So you can remember the examples of polyps and medusae like this. For the polyp, the formula is gap, and for the medusae, the formula is MAR, MAR. So gap, P stands for polyp, A stands for Adamsia, G stands for Gorgonia. So these are the examples of polyp. And the examples of medusae are M stands for medusae, A stands for Arulia, R stands for rhizostoma. Dear students, we are discussing the phylum Coelenterata. And from our childhood, we have heard a word that's called as coral and coral reefs. What are corals? Corals. Corals are hard materials. Corals are hard materials secreted by living polyps. So what is a coral? Coral is a hard material, and these hard materials are secreted by living polyps. They are used in jewelry. For example, Corallium rubrum, commonly called as red coral, is used in jewelry. So what are corals? Corals are hard materials. They are secreted by living polyps and they are used in jewelry. The most important or most famous coral, that's called as Corallium rubrum, it's also called as red coral. It's used in jewelry. Where are corals found in India? In India, they are found in Lakshadweep Islands. Lakshadweep Islands. And the greatest coral reef is found in Australia. That's called as Great Barrier Reef. Great Barrier Reef. So in India, the corals are found in Lakshadweep Islands, and the biggest coral reef is called as Great Barrier Reef. It's found in Australia. So we are discussing corals. Corals are the hard materials. They are secreted by living polyps. They are used in jewelry. The most common coral is red coral or Corallium rubrum. It's also called as red munga. The coral islands are found in Lakshadweep in India, and the Great Barrier Reef is found in Australia. So dear students, we are discussing the phylum Coelenterata. We have discussed the general characters, specialized characters, examples, other characters. So I need to mention the last point here. Phylum Coelenterata contains 9,000 species. A good number. 9,000 species. The term Coelenterata was given by So the Coelenterata contains 9,000 species, and the term Coelenterata was given by Leucart here. I will write it here, Leucart. And Coelenterata were called cnidarians by Herschel. Cnidarians. They were called cnidarians by Herschel. So the phylum Coelenterata contains 9,000 species. The term Coelenterata was given by Leucart, and they were called cnidarians by Herschel. So dear students, we are discussing the second phylum of animal kingdom, that is Coelenterata. Thank you so very much.